everyone, and ultimate community matters. All right. Thought matters aren't on the way home from London. Apologies, we've got Janet. It is wedding anniversary, so congratulations, Janet and John. Declarations of interest. Paddy.
No.
Paul.
No.
Simon.
No.
Yeah.
Only for the update, the skate park is obviously, we're not voting on anything, but just to mention.
Yeah. Mr. Churchill.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
I'm just a bit tiny, obviously, just it's only a verbal update, but just to declare the interest in the skate park and the human interest of the director, same as Tanya. Obviously, skate park, as you've all probably seen on social media, if you're on there, is plodding along rather nicely. Paul, Tanya, and I were down there yesterday for kind of an update meeting with Maverick, and they're really happy with the progress. So we are still on target for opening mid-May. Finishing mid-May with a little bit of an overlap, kind of finish the landscaping probably about a week after they finish maximum. We are then going to do a soft opening, which we're just arranging at the moment, and that will just literally be kind of a invite people along, councillors, residents, or the WASP group hopefully, and all whoever wants to come along and be a kind of cutting of the ribbon as such. And then there'll be a bit of a kind of a break, let everyone go and enjoy it for 6 weeks or so. Then there will be a master opening ceremony event, which I'm not saying when yet, but it will be in the summer, whether there will be a big event between 12 and 4 p.m. And that will be the grand opening. So watch this space.
We're not have somebody doing a demo.
Yeah, Tanya's volunteered very kindly, and I put her the skateboard. I know, and she's also prepared to wear a GoPro camera on it.
All the ex-chairs of the council will be doing it as well.
Yeah.
No, that was a serious.
There will be demonstrations, yes. Not at the soft opening, but at the big one. Yeah. And we're also going to kind of ask. There's 2 or 3 kind of members of the public who have been not just with us like Lisa Tanya from day one, but have supported all the events that we ran in 2019 and so on. Some youngsters. One in particular we kind of picked out. It was absolutely fantastic. Although I did remember him falling off around and onto his knees and scraping his knees, which that was painful. Not familiar for him. But we're going to ask him to come along as well. And there's one member of the group who is so excited about this skate park. It's hilarious. Bless him. Dean. So we're going to ask Dean to get involved as well. So yeah, there'll be a few from the group and general members of the public who are going to get involved and kind of do some stuff. So yeah. So watch this space.
It was great to meet the guy who designed it, and they were all equally excited and thought it's going to be an absolutely fantastic park. So it's really, they're obviously really proud of what they're doing. So it's really kind of nice to see that, I thought.
Well, their kind of words were along the lines of, this is probably one of the best parks that we've done. We built some good parks, but this is different. This is special. We're going to kind of, this is kind of, the words were, we care about this. This is not just building something. We actually genuinely care about it and leave a piece of us there. And the kind of, it's the street section, if that means anything to anybody. It does me, but effectively it's just the general section where you've got steps and guide rails and all sorts. And that's the bit they're absolutely raving about, the way it kind of blends into the master bowl. You don't worry.
You
about
had to be there, Paddy. They were very passionate about it.
Yeah.
We were stood there, and the guy that did most of the design, he just came over. We were just chatting, and he just stood next to me and went, "It's going to be beautiful." It was so. And Ross was talking about it as being it's like a piece of art. It's a sculpture. So they were talking about the sight lines and stuff. And they were really. It was just passionate. So nice. Yeah, the passion, and like Ben said, they were like, "No, this is our baby. This is we will always." Leave a piece of us here, and they're just really nice guys, and really it was, and also about the young people, wasn't it? Russ was talking about the young people, saying they have to be in places like this. He said, young people shouldn't be hidden away in kind of sort of dingy corners out of the way where people can't see them. He said it needs to be here where people can really kind of experience it. So they were really
empowers them effectively, isn't it? Yeah. Kind of they feel it's their park. They'll love it. So yeah. And obviously the first bit of concrete has gone in as well. So around the top of the left side of the bowl, just looking at it, you see left to the sea. It looks properly. So I mean, obviously we all 4 of us stood on top, plus the lads kind of chipping in with us that were building it. It kind of Tanya just chirped up, I can't believe it's really happening. And it's kind of went all the history on it, which we won't go into obviously, but it actually it genuinely feels real. It's like, wow, actually, what have we achieved? And it's like, it is quite emotional, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think it really will be on the day as well. Actually, when it opens, like, actually, guys, look at this. This is what we've achieved as a Wasp skate park group. All the residents that have helped, the council that's helped, town and district that have helped chip in to make this happen. I think, you know, everyone that's been involved, members of the public, everybody from day one to now, they should be probably proud of themselves. So yeah, we'll keep you updated. There'll be another update next month. Just keep watching social media for the pictures, but yeah, it is exciting. Obviously the play park at the Lake Grounds is 99.99% finished. It's looking fantastic, I have to say. I was there the other day, on Wednesday afternoon.
It was yesterday, wasn't it?
No,
Yeah.
day before as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Tuesday afternoon I was
Yeah, I
there.
was gonna say we were.
Yeah,
And-
Tuesday, yeah.
I was looking around the skate park, having a quick look at something, and a young lad in St Peter's uniform came up to me with the biggest smile on his face and said, "Who built this new play park? It's excellent. Thank you so much." I said, "Well, we did with the council. We helped build it, and obviously officers, etc., members of the public helped us." He was so excited, and his words were, "Have you been on the slide yet?" Not yet. I was in my work clothes, so I kind of couldn't go on to it. Then he just kind of said to me, "Who did the skate park?" I was kind of explaining about the skate park. "When can I go on it?" Well, it was about 6 to 8 weeks he had to go on it. And he was so excited, and that kind of, to me, kind of sums it all up. All the arguments that we've had back and forth with people and so on, and all the politics that have been involved so many years, that little lad's face says it all. You don't need anything else. Forget the rest. He's happy, and there's not just him. There's hundreds and hundreds behind them, not just in Potter's everywhere else. I just like, yeah.
I think
Fair play to you.
I think we felt that when we opened Sligo Park, that, you know, that the response was just overwhelming, you know, and it's just a absolutely feel good factor that seeing those kids using the slides, using the climbing frame, it's just amazing.
Yes, and it just shows you what you can do though when people work together, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can achieve anything you want to achieve. And it,
Yeah, for those of you who were able to go to Amy's comms meeting today, she did say that she wasn't going to do, she's going to do a little video of the new play area, but she doesn't want to do it until the old equipment has been painted, which I gather is,
kind of end of April-ish.
yeah,
Wait
they're
for the weather.
waiting out of the weather.
Yeah.
Because she said if she makes a video, somebody's bound to reply and say, well, that doesn't look very good, does it?
Yeah.
So that's why she hasn't actually done it yet, but she's going to, and I did suggest to her that she hired a couple of photogenic children to,
Be there. Yeah.
yeah,
That's cool.
she declined her own son.
Gosh. But obviously there is one little bit to finish. So as you go in, there's a kind of a trampoline that anybody can use, in particular obviously wheelchair users. We're just waiting for the kit to arrive, the matting to arrive. So once that arrives, that will kind of get put in, kind of around, so you can kind of go on and on. That's again all trial yesterday, and that was quite funny.
Yeah, it
We
was
went
quite.
AOT. We did struggle.
Yeah, my knee
He was alright.
my knee replacement was, well up for it.
Yeah, for about a second. So yes, again, obviously thank you to officers, members of the public, and obviously council that have been involved in kind of that, because obviously, again, the public had a massive input into what's going on there as well, so yeah, it's appreciated. Public participation, anybody online? All clear? Cool. We'll keep them going. Minutes from the last meeting from the 23rd of February 2023. Anybody, any comments?
I did have a typo, but I decided it wasn't important enough.
No. You can change it if you want to.
Got my head.
I'm happy that they're correct. I've read through them. I'm happy to propose the correct present for the meeting. Paul Gardner's happy to second. 3 hands going then. All those in favour, they're happy. That's a full house.
Thank you.
I will sign them and I'll do them in a minute.
Thank you.
I'll do them. I got to sign last month as well, haven't I? So kind of,
Yeah.
you went one way, I went the other way.
Yeah.
We got halfway. I'm thinking. Item 7 is the grant procedure for 2023-2024. As you will all note, obviously it's due to launch on Monday the 3rd of April 2023, so effectively a week on Monday. 2 days before my birthday, just to remind you all for the cards and presents, thank you. And obviously close on the 15th of December 2023. Obviously all grants that are awarded, obviously as per last year, in the 2023 award must be spent by the 28th of June 2024. unless obviously they kind of come to us and say, look, there is an issue. Like we have had a couple this year, in the past year, that have said, look, there's been delays that they can't help, they can't legislate for it, so which is fine. Does anybody have any questions? We haven't fundamentally changed it because I'm not reinventing or repairing a wheel, quite frankly, isn't broken. Since we reinvented it back in 2020, I'm thinking now, COVID.
I have a question about the forms, but
Yeah.
I do know that NDCT submitted their application early because they thought it had to be in, I don't know, in a year or something.
How, was it? Was it on the list from Nikki? I've not seen it
No, I've not either.
at all.
It just-
Because he said that last time, nobody had seen it. Can you just check with them they've actually sent it to Nikki? Because Nikki's not mentioned nothing to me at all. I do know there are 2 grants in, which obviously the grant committee are aware of, grants working party are aware of. So, which is being discussed next
Can
Tuesday.
always do it again.
Yeah, can you just double check on that
Yeah,
one?
I will.
So I've not seen it. If I had, obviously, yeah. Does anybody have any questions on this? So we haven't fundamentally changed it because it doesn't, not fixing it isn't broken, like I say.
So can I, it's slightly tangential, but have NDCT received their North Somerset contract yet?
They've received the contract. They've asked for some change. They asked for some changes to be made. Mr. Nicholson agreed to all the changes. I think he's quite busy, but they did reduce the amount from 55,000 down to 50. Yes, they put some really strange extra things into the contract which we weren't prepared to agree to.
Okay, but there is some North Somerset funding there to
There
support
is,
our
yes.
funding, should we choose to give them a grant.
Yes.
Well, yeah, if it comes in, of course it comes in, obviously, and when it
Yeah.
comes in, obviously we'll discuss it. But I think ultimately, again, we did ask the question last year, what are other local councils doing? Because obviously we are one of the big contributors, which is, in my opinion, fine, because what it does for the community is fantastic. But we did push back last year and say some of the others need to dip in their pockets. I think Clevedon came to mind, which was slightly
Clevedon have upped
Embarrassing.
their grant for this year to
good.
sort of make up for
last.
that was Hannah Young.
Okay.
Backwell have refused to pay because they say NDCT has too much in reserves, but it just shows they don't understand what reserves are for. We are challenging it, but the committee decided that if they didn't contribute, then we would have to charge any member from Backwell a different amount, because you've got to treat everybody fairly.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
If you can just keep us appraised of that one, obviously, if you can chase them and just drop me an email, or even copy them into the email to them, so we know it's incoming.
Yeah.
Obviously, bearing in mind that anything over £10,000 has to go to full council, so we can discuss it as a grants working party. We can push it to committee matters, but if it's over £10,000, we can't fully ratify it to committee matters. We've only got £10,000 authority, or delegated authority. So yeah, so if we can. What are we now? Thursday, meeting on Tuesday. So if we need to reconvene another one between now and all councils, it's not the end of the world. I'm sure we can all work around that. So anyone got any questions? Otherwise, any questions with the grants closure process now? I want to thank Nikki for the massive amount of hard work she was behind the scenes with this, and obviously also kind of collating all the information to make sure that when it does come to myself, Sue, Paddy and Bob, that we don't have more than 100 questions to go back to them with. But so it's just an immense amount of work. And obviously also kind of Amy then kind of publicises it on social media and collates the information and the feedback. So we actually just not just give the grants, we actually prove what the grants are going for as well in the town. So just personal thanks to them too, from the committee, and obviously, and then Wendy's input as well in the past year or so. I'm happy to propose that the grant procedure opens on the 3rd of April 2023, the 23-24 season. Somebody happy to second it? Tanya? All those in favour? Was everybody? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Item 8 is policies.
There isn't a recommendation under here.
There isn't,
I did think.
no. But I've created one for obvious
Yeah, you
reasons,
did, yes.
so it's fully documented.
Just
and
as long as that
Yeah.
makes it valid.
yeah, well, that's why I
That's fine.
kind of did it.
Yeah, thank you. Missed that one, sorry.
Yeah, no. I how I missed it on the minutes and I checked it twice as well, so I came up with some tweaks. So yeah, that's what I did, so then it's fully legit. Obviously policies, as everybody knows, we've kind of been working through the policies since we kind of came in. A number of changes have been made, and we are at the last one, which is the equality and diversity policy, and also obviously the safeguarding policy, which is kind of a legal requirement. And it's kind of doesn't just protect, the council, generally officers, councillors, but also members of the public as well that kind of we come into interaction with. I just want to say kind of a massive thank you to Wendy, Tanya and Nicola for their input on this one. It's been an immense amount of work behind the scenes to make sure this is correct, saying things in the right terms, and making sure we kind of capture everything as best we possibly can. And I want Tanya to kind of just talk a bit more because you've got far more knowledge on this than me.
Yeah, I'm not going to say a lot, Ben, to be fair. I think just to say, the one thing to say is that the ones that were sent out have changed.
It's been a
few
slight
times.
change. Yeah.
Yeah,
So thank you, Andy, for all the conversations and changes and things. The main things to consider, the EDI policy is that's an update that needed doing. So that's fairly standard for any organisation. The safeguarding policies, it does say in the policy that we're not actually directly responsible as a local authority, nor Somerset under the terms of the Care Act, are the main people responsible. Obviously we have a duty, and as it says on here, and as I teach my teachers every time I deliver safeguarding training, safeguarding is everybody's business. So actually we're all responsible for safeguarding. The safeguarding children policy is probably slightly less relevant to us, but it's still relevant. The safeguarding adults, obviously, the main people that we deal with as council, within the council, but also external to the council are adults. And again, the same rules apply. It's North Somerset are actually the ones that have full responsibility, but we still do have a duty safeguarding. So yeah, there's a lot of information there. But it's all stuff that has to be there, and it's all really important stuff. So what if these are agreed today, if the final versions, which Wendy's kindly kind of finished today, are agreed today, I think it's important that everybody reads them and is aware of their duty, for both safeguarding and the equality, diversity and inclusion. So thank you again, Wendy, because I know, like Ben said, that was a lot of work, and then you had two of us going, but what about this bit? But then there's this bit. So thank you. Thank you.
Yes, as Tanya said, they did come out again this afternoon. So Tanya and I and Nicola have been back and forth, and I spoke to Nicola on the way down here. So on page, even though it says page 17, on page 12 of the child safeguarding policy, there is a slight change to the wording. It is saying I don't change it to child, obviously, because you obviously have to ask them, are they okay, and also that you may need to report it to the relevant authorities, being North Somerset Council and or whoever. And if they say yes, then you can kind of proceed. If they say no, then you have to withdraw. But am I correct in saying that if you have a serious concern, you can still go to relevant authority and let them take it up?
You should never ever, and again, it's particularly relevant for children, but it's true for both. You should never ever, if somebody comes to you to make a disclosure of any kind, never ever promise that you will keep it a secret. And always tell them, one of the first things you should say to them is, I'll listen, blah, blah, blah. But if I feel that you or anybody else is at risk, then I will have to notify the relevant people. Mm-hmm. And like Ben said, if whether they be adult or child, say in that case, I'm not going to tell you, then there's nothing we can do about that. You can try asking, but if they do, it has to be made clear to them that actually if there's any danger, if you think that they're at risk, if you think anybody else is at risk, they need to know that you're going to report it, that you're not going to keep it to yourself. Mm-hmm. So that's the main thing.
Yeah, so there's a fundamental change, a small change to the wording to make sure it's whoever is involved says the right thing to protect, obviously, principally the person to come to whoever, whether it be me, Wendy, Claire or whoever. again, it's like I say, yeah, to go from there. So that will be slight wording change. This will go to full council as well, so everybody to kind of comment and be voted upon again. So ultimately, I'm recommending that this goes obviously to full council for the adoption of the updated equality and diversity policy and safeguarding policy. I'm happy to propose the motion that we push it forward to full council and we agree to adopt it. So we have to second it.
Before you do
Oh,
that,
yeah.
sorry, can we, I know we had a conversation about this, are we able to vote to adopt it here, Wendy, and just notify full town council, or does it have to be
No,
voted through?
Because it's a fundamental.
Yeah, no, well, I know, and I know we did have this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
We've got
so,
to put it through
the-
council.
that's fine. I just wanted to make that
It's also
clear. in
important that
case-
everyone on the full council was
Absolutely.
fully aware of it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was initially, the very first version was sent to everybody, wasn't it, to comment on already, so, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, that's what I just wanted to yeah.
Well, actually, something just to add as well, just also the other reason why I've got to make sure it's fully up to date is when we as a council apply for some grants, they will ask to see this or at least be aware that we've got one. Particularly if you apply for something that's, involving grants or say a play part, for example, they'll give it to you, potentially the money, but they want to have a policy in place to make sure that people are protected and safeguarded. That hand up, Simon?
Yeah, sorry, it's only a silly point, there's just some page numbering
Yeah,
issues.
that's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of went a bit mad. with words.
Bonkers.
I know why it's
Sorry
happening.
about that.
Yeah.
No, I know why it's happening.
That's why I said page 17 is actually page
17,
12.
and then page 17 again.
Yeah. Oh,
How do we make sure we're compliant with the policy? Because we leave that.
What do you mean?
Well, we've got a policy.
Yeah.
We obviously need to adhere to it. Is there?
In the same way we do any other policy, we have, I guess, I don't know, when you just have to
Make sure we have
just,
training.
yeah,
lots of
make sure that
training,
everybody, and that's what I'm saying,
document it.
People-
everybody needs to be aware of it, everybody needs to read it, and what we do, aside from the training, but the other thing that we tend to do as work is we have a document, and every year, every time, once somebody's read the policy, they sign to say that they've read the policy. You can't guarantee that they've done it,
Yeah.
but actually the onus is on them.
Yeah.
That was the sort of thing I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think-
That's something we'll put in place. Yeah.
I think for these, it's massively important that, we know, or at least we hope that people are honest and say that they've actually read them all.
not just give it lip service, like I say, 'cause it's a legal requirement,
Yeah.
and a legal document ultimately, which we're required to be reviewed.
Mhm.
And that review interval could be less than a year, because if there's a change to the act,
that's right,
then we will
yeah.
have to look at it and change it. That kind of stuff, I can kind of keep you appraised of that, because I get updates from HSC, etc. So I get them long before any of you guys will ever see them. So I can just drop you an email on that. Whether I'm a councillor or not, up to me, I'm still happy to do that. So yeah, I get that.
That's great.
The update things generally twice a year, April the 1st, for some reason,
Yeah.
and October.
October.
So but then if there's something fundamental, they will send it out, but we get normally win the bit at least 3 months before the event.
Oh, brilliant.
So yeah,
Thank you.
this is bickering going on. It's behind the scenes. So yeah, anyone else any questions? Any questions? No. So obviously, so the recommendation is to recommend to full council the adoption of the updated equality and diversity policy and the safeguarding policy. And say I'm happy to propose the motion. Simon's happy to second. That's on the saw. All those in favour? That is a yes from everybody again. Thank you. And thank you again, Wendy.
Yeah, thank you again,
Wendy,
Wendy, I know
Wendy.
that was a lot of work.
Thank you.
And although she's not here, thank you to
Yeah.
Nicola as well.
I did say thank you as I was on my way.
I know you
was
did.
talking to us, yeah.
I
Bless
just
her.
keep saying it.
Yeah. Well, it's important because there's a lot of work's gone into this. It's important, so yeah. Right. Item 9, wellbeing update. Have you all read the update that's been received? I'm just going down to it now. Sorry, it's so many pages. Sorry. Does anybody have any questions? This is obviously just a note, it's not a voting upon, just a note. Paddy?
Yes, it's only the item about the Spring into Wellbeing event, which we've discussed before. I believe it's going to be discussed at full council, because it came to staffing and finance. In fact, there was a lot of money being spent on raffle prizes. I noticed the poster has already gone out saying free raffle.
Right.
But It's just an idea. What I suggested to Brinley was that perhaps they could have a lot cheaper.
Yeah, if it doesn't detail what the prizes are,
No, it doesn't. It
So,
just
yeah,
says
a
free raffle.
so yeah, I mean, we can do a free raffle for a bottle of wine. couldn't we?
Yeah.
Probably not in well-being, but.
Well,
Bottle of wine and a box of chocolates.
It's all sorted.
But yes, I think your point, Paddy, about not knowing who, you know, the raffle prizes could go to anybody, I think was a really relevant one.
I think we all kind of agreed as well, didn't we, when the email was
Mm-hmm.
within. So yeah, I think this goes back to the point, wasn't it? We asked for the clarity. I think we got the clarity in the meeting, but then suddenly the email came out 48 hours later from the officer, and it's like, okay, so that's chalk and this is cheese. Which one am I going to not eat? I'm not going to eat the chalk personally, but so yeah, I just think when it goes to full council on the 12th of April, we'll kind of just make sure we put it down properly, make sure it's all done. Everyone's happy.
yes. So we didn't actually approve the expenditure, did we?
I couldn't remember.
I thought
No,
we did.
didn't.
Did we not?
No, we didn't.
It was left open, wasn't it, I think?
We said it would be deferred until we got more information.
Okay, that's good, because I wasn't sure, I couldn't remember, because I know we talked about it so much, and then again later, I couldn't remember which way we actually looked at it.
Cool. Anyway, is there any-
That's because we didn't vote.
Yes, that's why I couldn't remember, isn't it?
Sort of remember.
Anybody else any updates on this one?
Mm.
Or questions or Shay? Just
Yeah, obviously I was just looking up with the concerns of the residents on Porter's Head, obviously the post office, HSBC, Bank McCall's, which is spelt wrong, but that doesn't really matter because I'm sure everyone understands that. Fair and M&Co, obviously it's a considerable amount of shops that are closing or have closed in the high street, and I'm sure we're all concerned just as much as the residents. And I've been sure the residents, we are still trying to sort out the insurance most of this as much as we can, but obviously we haven't got the power to do it.
Is this part of the
So this is about the wellbeing.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
actually, I do have a
This is on here.
question,
Yeah.
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Every
about,
wellbeing update. Sorry, Tanya.
no, sorry, it's my fault, I should have put my hand up, I'm sorry. It's about that section really, and it's more a kind of technical question about which may be just something to take away, Wendy.
community concern?
The community concerns and celebrations, obviously this has gone into the wellbeing report. I feel that some of this may be duplication from the communications manager, can't be what the title is, sorry, also mentions and when she does her updates and things. So I'm just wondering whether there is maybe a duplication of work there that perhaps could be more streamlined from them, from their point of view and your point of view. That was the only thing I kind of really thought about when I saw that.
No, I just think it's a good area for us, obviously as councillors, to see what the concerns of the residents are.
Indeed, yeah.
Apart from the flag, yeah.
While we're doing enough about it.
Just one update, which is not actually on here. If it has, I've missed it. The repair shop. Just a quick update. Obviously we're in discussions with two parties. One is the library, which is kind of NSC, Maze, etc. Lynn's in contact with them, and also has been in contact and had meetings with the Lido swimming pool. Just as you're aware, the Lido swimming pool last night said no. Not them personally, the insurance have said no. I have fired back a rather stern email to say I'm miffed is an understatement, and they've towed the line of an insurance company, and I recommended to them how to go about it and how to approach the insurance company and speak to them to get them to understand what we're trying to do. I said there's one happening very successfully in Pill, there's one happening very successfully in Yatton, all over the country. What is the problem? And I explained that insurance will be in place, qualified people, risk assessments will be done, etc. This would not just be some pop-up random thing where someone's going to go and repair some piece of electric, then someone takes saying whatever. No, we qualified people. However, they listen to the insurers, fine. That's their choice, obviously. I don't agree. So Lynn is obviously aware, and she's obviously still speaking with the library because there is a cost implication for that, which will be obviously you have to pay per hour. So she's kind of just in dialogue with NSC and so on at the moment. So, yeah.
Library big.
The little room is,
Yes.
yeah, it's the little room, yeah.
Yes.
They're only going to have a corner of the
yeah.
of the Lido cafe, anyway, it's plenty big.
Somebody brings in a bicycle.
Oh, so just build a bigger room. So yeah, so just as you're all aware that that is going on and see their background. So yeah, so
Yes, just to say that I've been working with Lynn
yeah, sorry, yeah.
on this, and we, yes, I'm aware, of course, of what you have just said, and yes, we have a meeting next Thursday morning with the library, but I do know that the people, she's already got a person who is able to do the PAT testing.
Qualified.
And he is qualified. And also there will be somebody there with a sewing machine to do any repairs in that line as well. So we are actually sort of, you know, really going ahead, you know, with that, and it's all working well. And also just a reminder that next Thursday evening there is the adult new clothes swap. And yes, at the Poacher, and the Poacher are so enthusiastic about it. It's absolutely wonderful. And yesterday at a meeting at Poacher with Lynn, talking about the repair cafe and also the clothes swap. While we were there, there was a man an older man who came over and was talking about it, and you know, he asked for a leaflet about it.
Okay.
So yeah, so it is, you know, gradually getting out there, and there are loads of posters available for people to pick up in the Poacher, and tomorrow I will be going around all of the shops and pubs and everything else along the high street, offering them a poster to put in their window.
I can speak to you about that afterwards, because until some shops not to, because they're not allowed to.
No,
I
I
can
know.
tell you who they are if you want to. So yeah, that's not a problem. We have the same every year.
Yeah, when I
Yeah.
went around to do the Great Big Green Week, some people said no, they weren't allowed to. That is,
Yeah, it's
that
fine.
is fine.
Yeah. So company policy. And I think this goes back to Tanya's point the last week. I'll come to you anyway, about the fact that obviously we do things for the older people as well. I was going to try and phrase it properly then. So I think just asked another question again, a criticism that we did get, which I thought was a little bit unfair, but that's my opinion. And I definitely know not my own. So yeah, try and help everybody. It's not just one group of people, everybody. So yeah, but we're also at the same time, let's be honest, we're never going to please everybody, are we? So, yeah. Paddy.
Just remember something I noticed in last time's minutes. It doesn't need changing, but you said that any clothes to go into charity shops that don't sell have to be high quality. They don't. They have to be in good condition. We're getting a lot of stuff from M&Co. I'm going to put it up as collectible.
Cool.
If I can just add one more thing,
Yeah.
if I may, to the clothes swap. Also at the Poacher yesterday, they were saying that they would also be up for having a baby, not a baby swap, but a baby's clothes swap, say for sort of up to 3 months, up to 6 months, and
Beyond,
because
yeah.
of course they just outgrow
through
everything
them
really
second.
quickly.
Yeah.
And when we had it in the youth centre last year, we had piles and piles and piles of them. So yes, so they are talking about doing that as well.
Cool. I think we have to give thanks to the poach because they've kind of
Yes.
bought into this one and truly, and that's
Mm.
what they're trying to do for the community and help them is fantastic.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the minister's pleased that again.
Yeah.
The thanks to the team at the poach is fantastic.
I
So,
always thought that's what baby changing tents were for. You could change it for another one.
we have some clothes like we've tried to give clothes away. Well, Abby has on social media with we've done quite a lot of things on there.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. They're literally immaculate clothes worn once if you're lucky for Spencer.
I know.
And it's like, nobody wants them. It's like,
Yeah,
so
it's
sad.
loads,
Just sat there with little bags of it at home. So sad. You see people that are struggling. You go to the charity shop, no, we're full. We don't want this. We've had it. It's like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
We've got 3 or 4 bags at home. No one ever lie. The bags are like that. So if you,
Yeah.
I'll bring them to you. So yeah, I just, yeah, how do you fit them on? Or off? Can you imagine?
Yeah, there is a high
Little
turnover
pink
of
bonnet.
children's stuff in the charity
Yeah.
shops.
So, well, yeah.
Yeah, we actually put them on.
I mean, a question after with a repair shop, would the poacher be open for a conversation on that one as well? The fact that the buying, I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's worth the question or not.
Yes, I mean, if the Lido are able to do it, they were talking about doing it on a Monday morning.
Quite a day, yeah.
And the library would be doing it on a Saturday, and both of them would be once a month. So you would have 2 completely different venues
Yeah.
on completely different days.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens next week with your meeting with them, and then we can kind of maybe have a conversation, open it up, see if they should be involved. So, yeah. Thank you, everybody. Obviously, thanks for Laura for putting together. Yeah. Last item is obviously the update for the community signposting February 2023 that's been obviously prepared by Claire. Does anybody have any questions on this one? Again, it's obviously an item to note, not to vote upon.
Good summary.
One thing that Wendy and I have been discussing this evening, just before you arrived, that maybe a bit more information around certain things that she does, but also a bit more kind of a perspective about how much it's linking in, how much we're giving work to CANS, or helping CANS out with our facilitator effectively. So my suggestion is we kind of monitor it over the next kind of 8 to 12 weeks and kind of then have a conversation with CANS if we need to, but also some of the information that may be in here may be sensitive and on the lines of GDPR, etc. as well. Yeah. So what I'm proposing is it still comes to community matters, but it will be under closed session as such. So members of the public, etc. would have to leave, because I think some of the information that we could be provided with, I think we have to be really careful with how we position. So, and I think Claire's been really good on this, how it's been done. But there may be some things that she wants to say, but that she can't say at the moment within this report. So I'm not going to vote on it this evening, but I think ultimately we'll just need to be aware that this may need to come as a confidential item.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think it was
more information.
Yeah.
I think it was an unfortunate case study she chose, which sort of reiterated what we were concerned about when she was working for CANS.
And I think, obviously, I know Tanya sent you and Paddy sent an email, and I have responded back to both of you this evening, just saying, and exactly what I just said, we need to monitor this over the next 3 months now, and just see, and then say to CANS, if, an immense amount of time is being taken up by CANS, or we have 2 options here. We're giving you a grant every year, an SLA every year. You can either contribute towards this, or we just say, look, we need to give the priority and make sure that all the people that need the help as well, we're not just helping you, because we may miss somebody. And the whole idea behind this, which is why we're also passionate about it and it continues, is the fact that the residents of Pusset that need the help get the help. So we don't want someone to come up, Claire's with 3 or 4 people dealing with that CANS should be dealing with directly, and then one person goes away, and then we just see something in the newspaper which we'll all be horrified for. So I just think we need to be very careful about how we do this and position it. So we're not saying no to CANS, we're just saying, just note it, we are monitoring the situation. And I think maybe just a conversation with CANS now, just so it's kind of open and transparent, that we are just looking at how Claire's interacting with you and people that come in direct to you. We're there to help, we're not there to do your work for you per se.
I think the only thing which you just kind of touched on, I did email very quickly about, the only thing I did notice from this is the, but it's a bit of a tricky one, because obviously in December, it was purely the beacon, so there was nothing at the youth centre. But then what I did notice is that February has dropped, the number of interactions in February has dropped quite considerably down from January. So again, I think we just need to keep an eye on that, and maybe why that might be. I mean, obviously February's a shorter month,
Yeah.
I know that, but January, the beginning of January, people aren't going about, are they?
You also got half term as well, haven't you, in it? So it's part of that.
Yeah,
as
so,
well,
but again, it's just
Yeah,
something
you
to keep
monitor
an
it.
eye on,
Yeah.
just to kind of, and like you say, we need to be kind of making sure that those interactions are benefiting the wider community.
Yeah. I'll kind of chat with Wendy about it, and we kind of get the report back again, but it will come back as a confidential item.
I know, I think that's actually, I think that's a really good point. I think that's a really fair way to do it. It will make it easier for her to be able to feed back to us, won't it? If she knows that it's confidential.
Exactly. There's a number of reasons, isn't it? It could be it goes back to policy, it could be a safeguarding issue, and or it could well be a GDPR issue, and we can't fall foul or read of them as a council because it's the serious complications behind the back of it. Do we need to vote the fact that we're going to make it a confidential item just to confirm it, or are we okay?
No, we can just do it next time.
Yeah, that's fine. Just checking. I didn't want to go and say something wrong. That was obviously just one thing for me just to add. It's not on the agenda, but it's just kind of a note for everybody. Obviously, we've got the Penny Coronation Festival on the 27th of May this year, which is kind of full steam ahead and going. Planning's going quite well. It's a Saturday again. Between 11 AM and 10 PM. This year I won't have shingles and COVID, please. But there is also an event happening at the same day at the Poacher, an LGBT plus, I'm going to say, event happening between kind of midday-ish and about 10 o'clock at night. I had a conversation with the Poacher on Tuesday evening. I just happened to pop in. Just to make sure they're still serving the right contents of alcohol, and they were. And I just said to them, we want to help you. We don't want to cause people not to come to your event, and obviously vice versa. So can we work together on this? And she's absolutely fantastic. This event is being run in collaboration with the team down at North Somerset. So we're going to kind of work with them, and I'll talk to councillors and Wendy, etc., and just see if we can kind of help kind of publicise their event as well as publicising our event. I think it's really important we've worked together on this one. So I picked it up when I went in a few weeks ago. I thought, that's the same day as our event, and the lady wasn't in that's organising it. So I spoke to her say Tuesday night. Just so you're aware, I'm kind of on that one. I'm working with some kind of, we don't kind of cause any problems and make sure that we can get many people through the door as possible. So yeah. Otherwise, we are at 8:13. I'm checking my other phone. Not superstitious at all. 8:13 PM. The meeting is closed. The last Community Matters meeting of this council will be held on Thursday, the 27th of April 2023 at 7:30 PM. Same room. Thank you all for your contributions. And that is it. Meeting's closed.